Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Billy Goat Tales. And if you're just coming from the nightcap, I'm not sure if they're done. I had to book out of there a little bit early to get set up over here, but welcome in. We appreciate you. Let's say hello to the team here. We got the Biomex in the house. Ola Tony, freshly out of the hospital. Hope you're doing well, my friend. We have the
thank you.
Yeah, man. We have the red man over there. He's going to bring us some good stuff tonight. We got some really good stuff lined up for you tonight. We have Crypto Pollo, Cluck Cluck Pollo, and we have Dave Digital. What's going on, Dave? And then our guests tonight, we have a couple of guests tonight. We're going to have later on Magic Internet Money, and we have GF Burke, because we're going to be talking a little bit little Kaspa KRC 20 stuff. What's going on, Burke? Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, man. It's going to be fun tonight. So all you X subscribers, if you subscribe to X, and we typically have our Twitter X space at 9 p.m. every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tonight we decided, because we had a cancellation in our speaker, so we decided this would be a good time to dual stream, go Twitter X and YouTube, and we filled the agenda and the whole schedule with some exciting new stuff, and we'll hope to get Interlink back rescheduled, because they have a really good protocol over there that they're using, and I found out about it, and I was like, we got to get you on the space. So we'll get them back on here in the next few weeks or so. It'll be in the new year, of course. So we're dual streaming tonight on the official Billy Goat Tales X Space and YouTube. We appreciate you all stopping in. If you're listening to us on X, please know that we're on YouTube, so you can come on over to Billy Goat Tales, or just type in on YouTube Givers Game 111, and that will bring you on over to the YouTube. Or you could stay on X and listen. We will be showing some charts tonight. We will be showing some screens and things tonight that you will not be able to see on X. But hey, we just appreciate you being here and being with us tonight on Billy Goat Tales. So I see, since I don't see MIM, I told him around 9:15, so I don't see him in here yet, but that's cool. Oh, there he is. There's Magic Internet Money. We're just getting ready to bring you up, my friend. What's going on, Magic?
Just relaxing and enjoying the evening a little bit. How are you guys?
Doing
good, man. What's going on, bud?
What's going on?
What's up, Magic?
Got a whole bunch of you guys in here. Sweet.
Yeah, we're laid back, Magic. We're a lot more laid back than than the rigidness of some you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Dave, are you drinking milk over there?
No, I'm drinking water.
I thought it looked like milk on camera. I was like, you don't see people drinking milk too often. So there we go. All right.
It's just a big old cup.
There it is. Okay.
So Magic, I heard your prediction today, and I know you hate doing predictions like Dave said, but I was kind of impressed at the 111, man. I was like, yeah, we're sinking, man. That's a good number, really. I thought you were kind of right in the range that I figured. 111 to 115 is where I was thinking. So when you said that, I was smiling. I was like, yeah, that's a good number, man.
That's actually a take profit for me on some trades. So I'm hoping we get to it, but once you get up to these levels, there's no guarantees, but I don't stress it because, the small moves just don't really matter. It's just is what it is. So,
well, you got to do me a favor and let us know when you're going short, like real short, like you did last time, like the real short, right? Like the 2 year and a half short, because I'm like, Magic's going short. I'm out, man. I'm getting out.
I try to always tell people, it's like when I flipped long at like 16, I was like, hey, I'm not closing this trade. The caveat to that is that short was still open from the prior one. So I actually had two positions. I had that long, and then I had my head short, and eventually, the long went out. So sometimes that's how it is, where I'll get to a point where I'll open a hedge, and then that long will still be running, so the one of them will win out, and that's all you're trying to do.
Yeah. So let's pop open a chart. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, man, if you got a minute.
Yeah. Is it just present? Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, yes,
All right.
present,
No, you're all
and
good.
then I'll add it to the stage once it's up there.
We'll share screen. There we go. Easy peasy.
There. Boom. Okay.
Yeah. So tried to keep it kind of clean for, the higher time frame stuff. People probably get tired of seeing this chart, but these deviations, they expire here in give or take 2 weeks, and I'm gonna miss them because they've been really, really good. So we'll get new ones for next year, and we'll play those. The halving ones are good for 4 years, obviously. But what I've been doing with this, and this is unrelated to any analysis, but you guys can kind of imagine the blue boxes are really the areas I'm most concerned with, and they're essentially derived from convergence of levels. So anytime I have overlapping deviation levels that are good from prior closed sessions is the key. Is all these levels are derived from sessions that have closed. Like last year is closed, so we have levels for this year. So when this year closes, I'll have levels for all of 2025. So now the halving is, what I did was anytime they have overlap, I just boxed it off and I said, this will probably be a pretty key area. And so far it has been. And what I've been doing since then is back testing, not automated strategies, but like strategies where you could pretty much just, you don't have to think about it. It's just automatic entry triggers so that no matter what, you could have a trading strategy without too much thought process. And that's kind of the beauty of this. And the idea for me is I don't want to trade as much as I used to. People probably figured that out by now. So I don't like to day trade as much. I really just want to swing trade, give analysis, help people learn, and stop trading 200 times a month, 300 times a month, So that's where I'm at on it. But getting rid of these and getting into the next year, I'm really excited for it. But what I did was I went through and I have back testing strategies for each year. And this one was really good. Let's go to here and then the text. And so essentially it worked off of like a swing failure pattern type thing like this. So you can see those are all the log trades. This is the data collected. I just keep it in here and I post it in the group so people can see it, obviously. And I post on Twitter too, but using something basic like this and zooming out and allowing yourself to kind of have more free time. People don't realize that this only yielded a 44% win rate. However, even with 6 losses in a row at one time, most wins was 5. Due to risk reward and position management, you still came out with a net of 39% on the year. And that would be assuming you were just trading in and out of Bitcoin. So every time you won, you would take those profits, put it back into Bitcoin, so they would continue to rise with the price. But if you had 1 Bitcoin, you'd have 1.39 today. So that's the idea behind it. But that's pretty much all I've been doing, man, for like the last month or two, really just trying to hone that in and hammer that down, because that's probably what I'm going to start relying on, because I've back tested it all 5 years.
You could almost put that into a bot, couldn't you? Like a trading bot?
That's kind of what I'm aiming to do. I've started trying to learn to code on PineScript a little bit. And do so. And so I always encourage people, definitely learn to trade, but like if your goal is to get out of they call it the matrix, whatever you want to call it, the rat race, sometimes you have to kind of start shifting your horizon just a little bit and taking a step back. But I've back tested it for prior years when I wasn't trading it because I didn't have the strategy. And there was only 1 year it wasn't profitable in terms of like a net gain. And it was -7%. Every other year is like 20 to 30%. Some of them are higher. I think the biggest one was 70 something. I want to say 78. So if you did that year over year for 5 years, I mean, instead of having 1 Bitcoin, let's say you'd have like almost 3. So it's a very useful thing for me. I think it would be for other people, because you got to think you're not trading as much. Get rid of the weekly open here, which we'll talk about like local analysis, but this is more mindset for people, especially because I feel like your community is more of a cycle community. They're not trying to day trade all the time. They might trade some, but they're really trying to, hey, how do I manage this cycle? Because managing a cycle versus managing a day trade are completely different things. They're similar, but the patience aspect of something that's going to last years is really hard, because you get crazy things that happen and narratives and things that go on Twitter where people turn bearish that you might look up to. And then all of a sudden you want to, go against the market, and it might not be the best idea, because everyone's going to be wrong eventually. So in this case, you'd only be trading at these white lines. I'll get rid of the convergence.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to be trading the white lines.
Yeah, you'd only be trading these white lines, and they've been very good. These are predetermined levels that you've had for an entire year. So you just be buying and selling these lines. And this is actually where I took my most recent position, was this wick. And that's what I've been riding up to here on some leverage.
What was the price down there? I can't see it. At that.
59, 125.50.
Wow.
And that was the low, almost the exact low. The low was 58.821. So, you're separated by not even 0.5%. And so really good entry. Technically, your entry looks like this on the strategy I was looking at. It's a long position, but now that you've had the SFP, the swing fail, you've swung these lows and the previous day low here on the closure. As long as you close below the 50% of the 2 deviations, you should be looking for a long. And so in theory, you just long the next daily open. Your first take profit to secure is here, and you would be looking at a 3-to-1. Okay, so your risk to reward has to be in line. Well, I have the magnet on. It's kind of messing me up here. So it has to be a 3-to-1, meaning that your stop loss would be predetermined based on risk to reward, because as long as you maintain that relationship, you really don't have to have the super big win rate. It doesn't have to be like 80%, because if you guys go to my account that this is actually being traded in, where I was day trading it, that account win rate 78%. And, that can be misleading to people, because if you win 78% of your trades, that's a good number. But a lot of times those wins aren't like real big. They're smaller because you're trading more frequently on lower time frames. So you're probably taking smaller wins. Whereas this one's designed to really kind of capture and move. And you might be holding a position. Sometimes it's just a day. Sometimes you might hold it a week, maybe longer. In this case, the context of this, I was like, okay, I'll take my first profit in this region, but I'm going to leave a lot to run because I believe that we're going to head up to these levels. And that's really paid off for me. That's more of a, I wouldn't say an experience thing, but kind of, So from now, just like on Sin City today, we were talking about analysis. We're at the plus 13. Okay, so we've had a swing failure pattern. Technically, this is a short. I haven't taken it, but technically, this is already set up to a short. You've hit the level. You've swung fail. This is the open. You would be looking to do this. It would be an automated trade. You wouldn't even be thinking about it, because the loss doesn't matter, because it's a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio, meaning that if I win, I'm going to win 3%. If I lose, I'm only going to lose 1% of my portfolio. And you can actually work it out on different percentage risk bases, like 2%, 3%. And, obviously that 39% turns into a 78% win, things like that. But then eventually bankroll becomes an issue where you can't sustain X amount of losses in a row. Then your bankroll strategy is not good. It's like a roulette thing at that point. But in theory, this is the trade. And then as soon as it hits this level, you would close and you'd look for the next trade. So that's kind of the thought process behind it. But it gets people out of the emotional roller coaster of, oh, I don't want to take this trade, or should I take this trade? It's just take it. It's there. It's already designed and set up. The numbers add up. The math adds up. And it really desensitizes you to losses, because that's the hardest thing for people. But in reality, 107 gets claimed. I'm looking for like 113 and 114. That's kind of the next zone for me. And if you were to roll into like a more complicated looking chart, it's really not though. This is just the trend. And I'll use this chart for this one because it's actually easier to display since it's blankish. So you have your cycle low back here. And all we're doing is measuring moves and projecting. And this, I'll show you how this actually predicted Bitcoin's last top, or at least gave the area for it. Where's the low? Right here, close enough. So we're just looking to measure cycle low to cycle high. Now I want to see what that would look like if we were to project it from here. Now we're in linear scale right now, meaning that nothing is based on percentages. It's only based on like a 1-to-1 relationship. So if you were to copy this move from 3K to 69K, and display it in 1-to-1 units, it would look like this. And you'd have the 1-to-1 up here. And so we're going to go to log scale, because now things are measured differently. It's not measured in, 1-to-1s. It's measured in a percentage basis. And so that leads you to here. And I'll get rid of these text. They're in the way. Leads you to about 115. And so what you can see is you've come into this gold pocket. And for anyone that follows Fibonacci, it's important. 115 is up here, but then kind of going back to the well of, I always say it boring, bland TA, but because it's not that difficult once you have the levels, they're there forever, so we have this, and then we have the next guy coming in here. Now, I think it was the +4, or was it? Yeah. No, it's the +5. There we go. Right up in this region. So this area should be, respected pretty well. Now, the issue with that is that we are coming into, when you project for the prior top, okay, I'll get rid of a lot of the stuff on here out of this folder. I just keep this here to kind of keep myself grounded so that I know, this is kind of the overall trend and way I want to look at the market. Hopefully I'm not boring your audience out of their.
No, man. This is good stuff. I love it.
Yeah, it's more just like we'll just talk about the chart because it's easy. It's easy for me anyway. I like talking about charts, obviously.
I tell you what, for me, this is much easier to understand and to apply because I'm just not trading. Like you said, I'm not trading all the time. I'm looking for those, where can I get in before a long run, sit it out, wait it out a little bit. So this helps.
I'm getting ready to delete this, but a good one to look at is, and I'm sure you use it because I think you guys are all very familiar with the VWAP, but yearly VWAP, I've been using this since like 2019, 2020. Yearly VWAP is excellent. Even the closure. So if you were to mark off the closure of it, it's actually usually pretty good support and resistance in previous cycles. So, but yeah, you can see here, writing the yearly VWAP. You're just writing out a really major moving average because that's all the VWAP is. It's volume weighted average price. So it's actually that the formula that you hear me repeat on, ad nauseum of, high low close divided by 3. The addition of those divided by 3 equals like a static level for a session, whether it's a month, a week, or a year. Well, if you take that and you multiply it by the volume during that session, that's what generates this moving average. So it's just a moving average, just like an EMA or a moving average standard. So it can be used like that. That's why people use it. But
so do you think price is gonna go back to VWAP before end of year? Do you think VWAP's gonna go back to price?
I think we'll close well above the VWAP. Will go to price in this case. So like a really good example of this is like here. You can see that you're very far away from the VWAP coming into the end of the year here, and it closes. Now, this close is still somewhat relevant, and you can get the close by just opening it up, hovering over the last day, and you can see 78.2603 was the close. And you could just mark it out here if you wanted to and say, okay, well, it closed here, and then VWAP, obviously, a new session has started, so the data starts over. That's why it's catching up like that. It's just new data is starting. It's just rolling over like a clock. Your odometer hit 99999, and it's done. So that's the beauty of that. But 78.26 is where your VWAP close would be. And if you look it was not support or resistance on the way up. However, it was very good support and resistance later on. It's just a good area to kind of like gauge as a barometer. So, there's a lot of little things that a person can do to make the chart simple for themselves. And that's really what matters, as long as it's easy for you. But getting back
this is good stuff. This is good stuff. I only use daily VWAP, but I use it religiously.
Oh yeah, daily VWAP, weekly, quarterly is very good as well. The higher the time frame, the better. As I always tell people, if you're looking for like longer term stuff, like you could turn this into standard deviation bands and turn those on. We're not going to, but you can go to quarterly now, and this resets every 3 months, obviously. But quarterly VWAP's traditionally pretty good. There's people that derive strategies around the quarterly VWAP as well. Like here's our current quarter. You can see we had a lot of chop, but as soon as we started riding that, is pretty good. So I don't imagine we're going to make our way back to 84 by the end of the year. That would probably require quite a dump. It could happen. It's not out of the Bitcoin could easily dump. What is that? 20%. That can happen in any Bitcoin cycle. We're all aware, so it is what it is there. But using the projection of Fibonacci is really, really a great thing because you're in log scale here, if you recall. And this is just the prior cycle low, right? It's all we're doing is we're going back to here and we're just saying, man, $152 or 163, I guess, on the BLX, but it was 152 on, I think, Bitstamp. Who wouldn't have loved to have bought Bitcoin then? But, this is where you ended up in the last cycle, and then time became a factor. So that's where that chart really starts to shine previously, alongside of, just basic fib work. And we're not near the, macro expansions in terms of gold pocket and log scale. We are in linear, and we'll talk about that. But this was kind of your, hey, not only did I have that gold pocket in logarithmic scale, I had the, overall from the high to low. So there was a lot here that just on paper was already kind of telling you that this is going to be an area of contention. And if you went a step further and did negative fibs, you could do that. I think negative was 236, somewhere in that region here. And you're just projecting from the prior cycle low to the high, and then projecting a negative Fibonacci number, and you're getting, again, the same area. So you're getting more things to kind of line up with what you wanted. And if you want to see something that's, I don't know if you guys do harmonics here, but I'm pretty sure Scott will hate me for this. Scott Carney, the guy who created him. But
yeah, I watch Scott a lot, or I used to. A lot.
This is on my TikTok from 2021, and I was like, Scott's gonna hate me because I'm a huge Scott Carney fan, and I was like, he's gonna think I like bastardized his work. I believe it is this one. Yeah, it is. Sorry, I was posting stuff about a bidet and a toilet on a post on Twitter. I do some shit posting. Excuse my language, but here we are. Log scale deep crab. So this is actually not seen in linear. It's only seen in log because these are logarithmic bases. But as you can see, it's a perfect deep crab almost. I mean, to the T here. And so for me, this was kind of one of the big things alongside those other Fibonacci convergences alongside time that told me that I should be looking for reversals, and getting back to where we are now and how that relates to today. Very similar methods. In fact, the exact same methods that I use to get those zones are what got me to this box and it's what people don't realize is the 22% box. And I kind of laugh at that because people always say like, oh, you're so precise. And it's like, sometimes, but when you get to the top of a move, like you kind of have to give yourself some grace because, markets can get pretty wild. So this was a 19% zone. But at the time when I was saying that this could be the high, people were acting like I was a genius. But in reality, I gave myself 20% of leeway.
Fluff there.
But at the time, I think more people were just scared to say it was a top. It was the issue.
Right.
So, here, and I'm not saying it's a top, I'm just saying this area based on what we've done previously in terms of tools would project that we're going to at least see resistance here, and it could be material over time. And time is the other aspect of it that you have to consider. So when you look at time now, this is your current cycle, we're nowhere near our 1-to-1. That's all the way out in October of next year. And even this little box here is in January, at the end of January and March. And you can see we have a similar little box over here, which we started to come into contact with this area. And so that is the 1-to-1 was perfection on this one. As you can see, the second top came in exactly at the 100% in time. And the 75 and 78.6% was here when you were finding your first material high. So we're reaching pretty close to that first material time zone of, if this, since it's now broken out and we've pushed, I was really looking at like 80K going, okay, if it pushes through 80K, this thing can really run between 93 and 100, maybe even higher. And this was the box that was pretty much predetermined at that point when we did that. Cause I'm a level to level guy, kind of bland, but this would be the area. Now, if this area gets cleared, everybody always wants to know, like, well, what happens if that area gets cleared? Well, I think you go back to the well and we look at something like your 1618 and you say the realistic idea of clearing 120,000 on Bitcoin can really push you into that 160 to 180 conversation, at 150 to 180, I guess we'll call it, which is your macro gold pocket. So for me, that's kind of the big region. I don't really get bearish on this chart until we zoom out a little more to like the monthly time frame, and we had it up earlier. We had like the previous month high is a big one for me. You don't really necessarily want to be swing failing previous month's highs, as you can see right here. Right. You'd like to see those being held and continued, because when you get that kind of action, generally what happens is at least some kind of a downtrend for the medium term, which is what happened here. So I would like to see that continuation below the previous month high. Things do start to kind of change a little bit, not permanently for me. But if you closed December, like, in the red, like materially, it would start to look kind of bad to me. I would start saying maybe that was the high, but we don't know. We'd need to see a little more price action, of course, but I'd expect at least some kind of a range, between that 90 and 113. I would expect something sizable, kind of similar to what you got here at that point. I'd start expecting at least some kind of price action. So, that's how I'm viewing Bitcoin. I'm trying to keep it easy and light and, take trades that are easy for me. I guess that's all I'm trying to do is take the easy trades, because in a bull market, you don't have to do a lot to mess it up.
Yeah. Also, when you take that weekly to the monthly, because on the weekly, everybody was talking about that big old, what they called the cup and handle. But when you take it on a monthly, there's a big old inverse head and shoulders.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Well, here's the thing. Fun fact about inverse head and shoulders and the old cup and handle. Every single inverse head and shoulders has a cup and handle in it. It's like, it's a weird thing to say, and people, when they realize it, they go, "Oh yeah, okay." I started as a pattern trader back in 2018 and 19. Did not fare nearly as well doing it, but
I don't normally use them in inside the charts, but I will use head and shoulders inside momentum because those seem to play out a lot.
Yeah, no, they do. So I some of them play really well, like ascending triangles, but like you have to think about why those probably play well in a market like Bitcoin.
Right.
When you zoom out and look at the chart on Bitcoin and people are like, ascending triangles hit at this rate. It's like, well, look at the chart. It's a, this isn't even a good view. This is only back to 2018. You go to the BLX and you just zoom out. Of course, ascending triangles play well. Look at this thing. It's been straight up for 13 years. I would probably long every single one of them myself. That just longing dips on Bitcoin historically, the chart hasn't really given sellers any real reprieve. Obviously we've had big downturns, but those are blips on the radar when you zoom like way out. These are like monthly. It's just you want to be an asset. Go ahead.
Magic, have you heard that? I think it was Lunar, and Lunar's in this chat, or he's in the stream here, but that Bitcoin is never retraced to whatever its election day low was every cycle.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that, and I don't know if it's true because I haven't done it myself and like gone through or seen anyone do it. But somebody mentioned it in my trading group, and it's a good observation. And to me, I look at those just kind of like last cycle when we dipped and we were in confirmed bear. 20K was the prior all-time high, and Bitcoin had never retraced to an all-time high before. And so I always say is like, never say never, but if you're trading off of that, so far you're 100%. So the cycles have been really good. And so eventually we'll get a cycle that's different. And maybe this cycle can't really be considered different because to me, if it topped in like quarter 1 or 2 instead of quarter 3, I wouldn't consider that too materially different. Now, if it was like it topped last year at like 73K, that would have been different for me. The big difference of this cycle has been how accelerated everything has been, which sometimes gives, caution to the wind, but it also kind of feeds into the whole, like one day we're going to get a different cycle. What if it's not a bearish one? What if it's, Bitcoin's been having diminishing returns and now all of a sudden it doesn't, So that's the question, and it's the $1 million question. So I always, go back to the charts and say, where can we line up with our chart analysis and say, this is a sign of weakness. I should be looking for a bear market. And another good.
Because if that's true, and it's always been correct, then that means on election day, Bitcoin was at 67,000, I believe. That would mean that it would never go back below, or it hasn't in the past on election days, on the 4-year cycles.
Yeah.
That's I mean,
right in here.
It's kind of 67. Think about that. Like you're never going to be able to buy Bitcoin. It's below 6. That's crazy.
Oh, what's his name? I'll find him on Twitter. Charles Edwards, I think is his name. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. He does the hash ribbons buy signal indicator. Been following him for like 6 years now. But he has an indicator. It used to be free. I don't know if it's still on here. Let's see. It was the cost of mining, essentially the Bitcoin cost of production. And those have been really good. If you're ever looking for like just a general ballpark of where, within a standard deviation, Bitcoin's going to fall to during a bear market, that's usually pretty spot on because, you have to think if the market is run by the cost of production of Bitcoin, because, it is a market at the end of the day. People are, he might've got rid of it. That stinks. It used to be free and you could literally plot out live what the real-time cost of production of Bitcoin was. Maybe it's gotten too complicated since then. I don't know. But that was always kind of a good indicator of, hey, where might the low come in? Because if you dip too far below it, you got to think what's happening to the miners and what's happening to the network. So, if you're thinking of network integrity and industry integrity, you would look at that as a baseline of saying, okay, if this asset's going to make it, it can't really go too much further below this. It was always a good ballpark to like kind of put yourself in a real mindset of Bitcoin could fall this far and that's okay, and I want to say it was creeping up into the 60s when we were breaking out, if I recall someone was saying that, and that's very, you know, if this is the low and we never see that low again, like, well, I guess it's all the way back here at like 60K and it's creeping up, it would stand to, you know, to support his argument, I guess, in that case, or what he found. So it would be very interesting to see. It's a neat stat for sure. I think this next cycle or this next administration is going to be very good for Bitcoin, obviously. At least I hope so. I mean, all signs point to yes.
Magic, I got a question for you. What's the chances of a super cycle?
You know, I'll never say never. I always say that you can't bank on outliers, whether it's up or down. Like, you shouldn't bank on outlier bearish or bullish activity, because that's how you end up a meme on Twitter. You got the perma bears and the perma bulls that, you know, do that to themselves every cycle. But I would say 20-25%. And the only reason I even give it that is normally I'd say like 5. And I'm giving it that because you're looking at real adoption finally. Like, you're seeing countries, like when the United States government is talking about holding this as an asset on a balance sheet, essentially, that's a big shift. If they do it, you have to think how many countries are going to follow. And I'm not talking about smaller countries that are, you know, potentially watching people like El Salvador. I'm talking about countries like, you know, China. Russia's obviously already into crypto a little bit. We don't really know too much about it because it's Russia. Same with China. They might have their hands further into it than we know. But, you know, there's going to be bigger countries and bigger economies, both in Europe, South America. I imagine Canada is going to want something to do with it if they ever get rid of Trudeau. You know, things like that. Like, those are big players. That's a lot of money. And if that starts entering the market and entering the demand pool, things can get very, very wild. So it'll be interesting.
There you go. Biomix is a Chinese linguist, so he can speak the language, man. Hey, Magic, can you pull up before we move on? We got Burke down here too that's going to talk a little bit about CAS and KRC20. Can you pull up Cardano? Yeah, let's take a look at Cardano. I finally
bought Cardano for anyone that follows me on Twitter. I used to always post the meme, am I ever going to get to buy Cardano? Because it didn't hit my box. I did buy Cardano. I got in down here near the Q2 low when I saw that this was going on, because I was looking to buy here. That's why I kept posting that meme. Am I going to get to buy Cardano?
Nice.
I did not get to buy Cardano, but I got in at an okay price. Cardano is a really simple chart. This one we've covered quite a bit recently because, I mean, why wouldn't you be covering a move like that? The thing about Cardano is you've run up to this yearly SFP and 12-month level here, this blue box, and this chart is extra dirty. So I'm going to clean it up before I start going much higher in terms of in time frame, because then it gets a little messy when you do that. So I'm just going to start deleting some things.
If Jimmy was here, he'd probably have a comment.
If who was here? Oh, yeah. Probably
Jimmy
would.
Jam. He might take us into the den of debauchery.
He always does. All right. So when we're looking at this in terms of like a yearly candle, we can say that, you know, we don't have a ton of price action in 2017, but this was the 2017 high. Now, from there, you've got the 2018 high. You've not closed above this blue box. You've never closed a yearly candle above there. We're obviously entering the final month of 2024. Almost had to forget the year there. I'm getting old, so bear with me. But in reality, this was going to be resistance. It was also in log scale, which I think is appropriate for an asset like this, because you dipped all the way down to, what's the low here, 22 cents. And now we're talking about, you know, a 600% rise effectively. So, you know, percentage basis is key. But again, we take a look at this, you know, dotted line here that just says SFP. We'll zoom out to the monthly, and it's just an old yearly high that I actually had on my chart when we were trading over here. Good support, good support, good support. Once it's lost, we know we're looking down. We finally come back up to it. We've tagged that key yearly closure level. You've got your SFP there. You've got your log scale gold pocket. So this area is realistically going to be resistance, but we want to see 94.5 cents get that flip. And you can see historically, if you can live above this, especially on like monthly timeframes, you can consolidate underneath this level and make that push to new highs. Now, if you lose 94.5 cents, you're just looking back down into like this zone here, which is, you know, that like 59 to 68 cent region would probably be the low end of what I'd expect in terms of a retrace. So anything below that, and I wouldn't say I question Cardano's rally, but, you know, you got to look at this yearly candle that you'd be retracing. It wouldn't really look great to just kind of give all this up. So the yearly closure, if I really wanted a good one, at least above 94.5. If you get one above, 130 to 139 here, I really don't see anything stopping it. Maybe some pit stops at like 211 and 251, but at that point, I'd just be expecting a new high to be made. That's how I'm looking at Cardano.
Yeah.
Pretty
Crow,
easy.
Crow has a tweet out there where he predicted it to be like, I think it was like $7.50 in 2025.
I mean, Crow, he's a big Cardano guy, and this thing has ran so hard in the past. And if you look at the chart this way, people say it's a dead chain, but like this is a pretty good chart. Look at it. It's just a higher low being formed. There's nothing bearish about this trend. So, it's kind of like Bitcoin where we talked about it's a good chart. This is a good chart. You've made a high, you made a low, you made a higher high, a higher low. Now you want to see it make higher highs. And if it does, it's a doubling of price, but it's not out of the question by any means. It's not like he said $100 or anything. So it could very well happen.
Yeah, man. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you, brother, coming on and taking the time a last minute like this. I just texted him today or DM'd him today, and he's like, yeah, I can do it. And I was like, oh, thanks, man. So I appreciate you, man.
Well, wrestling is usually on Tuesdays, but it's not this year. So I have wrestling on Wednesdays. So my Tuesday night actually started to free up here recently. So I've got Tuesdays free again to kind of like, we'll call it adult things, but not that I'm upset about doing kids stuff with my kids, but it's just one of those things where it's like every night there's a function, but I get Tuesdays back a little bit. So kind of nice.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate you. And you can hang around if you want. You don't have, if you got time.
I'll be around. I'll probably hop out, but you guys are on X Live, right?
Yeah, we're on X and YouTube. Yep. At the same time.
You're on YouTube too. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'll be in the comments. I'll be lurking.
Yeah, our channel is if you type in on our channel, just Givers Gain 111, it'll pop up our Billy Goat Tales channel that we just recently launched. So we're now YouTubers and Xers.
No one is surprised by this, but I'm going to give you a follow just because why wouldn't I? And looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, brother. We'll try to. Go ahead, Tony.
For those of you who didn't know, Magic Internet Money is such a humble and generous and honorable guy. Instead of jumping in our mint, he donated 2 NFTs to the community, which we have and we're holding on to. And I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, no problem, man. That's what it's all about. I want people to do good things for the community of crypto because I've been in crypto a long time and I've seen a lot of less than great people. So it's nice to see you guys making it in the space and sticking around.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. Well, we try to team up with good people like you too. I always said it, and I believe, I'm 100% true with this, man. You and Mind Your Biz, we're going to get you both on this YouTube channel because I think you guys have the 2 best minds in crypto, man. I really do. So I appreciate you, man.
Time the other day, by the way, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, we follow each other, might as well. He's a very nice guy, very cool. So, but
very smart, man.
I've seen some of his content. He seems like it.
Yeah.
But I won't hold you guys up. But thank you for having me. Of course, I'll be in the comments and watching. So,
yeah,
cheers,
man.
guys.
See ya, Magic.
Cheers, Magic.
All right, guys. Well, we just got some fire charts there from MIM. He's always a good guy, and he's really smart. He really knows his charts, and he's somebody that I personally trust in the space when it comes to charts. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We have 104 viewers between X and YouTube right now, so we appreciate you guys standing by. What we're going to get into now, we did Burke have to leave? We run him out of here? We had Burke on for a little bit. We'll bring him up later. Burke, you still there? Yeah. I didn't know if your mic was on or not.
Hey, man. How's it going?
All right. We got you, Burke.
Hey.
Hey,
man. I love hearing Magic talking, dude. Mem, I need to give that guy a follow. He trades just like we do in the lifer group. All of his charting style, that's pretty much what we do pretty much all day and night. So yeah, I really enjoy watching that, dude. I don't think I've ever watched him, but I need to put him on the list, man.
He is. He's smart and he knows his stuff, and he's got his own system and strategy. So, you got Frankie and you got Tom Crown and you got Sammy and you got MIM and Blood. And I try to watch them all and pick up Alex O and Army Piper and Trade Fly. I mean, I can just go on and on. But so I get a piece of everybody's techniques, and then I roll it into my own. And it's really great because it keeps your mind active and it keeps your mind broadened with some of these other, like he was explaining he was started as a pattern trader originally, and then he went into the underlying reasons of why those patterns work, and he started studying that, and he really got into the weeds on it. And I was like, man, that's some deep stuff right there. But he gets it, it all makes sense to him. So
dude, and that's the thing, man. Like, I watch all these other traders, dude, right? And as you're starting out, I've seen them all, right? And you kind of go through it, and some of our brains works with some of their aspects of how they do it, but then some of the other some of us, like other people, they really the way that they think and the way that they do the math and the way they chart, like it falls into a category. And all these guys, right, they all have like different methods, and some of us just fall into certain categories, dude. Like,
yep.
I love Frankie, man. Him and I will do. I killed him on first person shooter games. Him and I will play. I love watching him. But dude, I can't. His brain works different than mine when it comes to trading, man. I just can't, right? So I just,
Yeah.
It's weird how we all do things differently, man. Whether it's Crown, where they're all different, but we all fall into these categories of what makes sense for us, right? But we can take different aspects of different, how people are doing different things, add it to our kit, right? And and add those strengths. But it's weird, dude, how everyone just does it differently.
It is. Yeah. So and that's why people end up settling down with the way they want to see it and the way they learn it the easiest for them. So everybody's different, like you're saying. So you end up watching them all, and then you end up saying, hey, and the way I receive stuff into my brain and my information, this makes more sense to me. So you kind of settle down with that. And that's why you got to check them all out so that you can figure out what works for you, just to what you're saying there, Bert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, and I enjoy learning. I try to learn from all these different people, and I love Sheldon, Sniper. I love his attitude and his style, and I kind of mix them together, and I make up my own, right? And that's kind of how it falls together, dude.
Yeah, I make up my own from all those guys. I have my own system too, just because I listen to all those guys and learn from them all. So we wanted to get into talking about KRC 20. So let me set this up because for the chat. So today I was messing around with my CAS and my wallet, and Burke had told me, hey man, I minted a KRC 20 coin, and I was out in San Francisco, and I didn't have my password to my wallet with me, and it's stored in my safe. And I was like, hey man, I'd love to get some, but I can't. So he's like, yeah, it's pretty easy. And so I went in there today and I minted a Billy coin, KRC 20 meme. And it was so weird because I was typing it all in, just following the prompts, pretty easy to do. And like over on Cardano, you actually have to, and you can create the coin, but you'd have to set up the liquidity with it. So
No
like
relation to the Billy meme coin.
What's that?
No relation to the Billy meme coin.
Well, it's other than it's a Cas Billy meme coin. So yeah, they're totally different. So on Cardano, you to release it, you have to set up a liquidity pool, and if you're putting $1,000 in or 10,000 in or whatever to assign it some value on Caspa, you just mint the doggone thing. So I minted like, what was it, 100 million, I think, Burke, something like that.
Yeah.
And suddenly I watched this thing just explode as far as people just gobbling it up. And it was 100% sold out within 10 minutes. And I was like, I don't even know what happened right now. I was like, what happened, man? It's so Burke
called me, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. So if somebody wants to mint their own meme coin on CAS, how, like, step them through that. And I don't know, are you on a computer? Can you share your screen, or should I pop mine up? Or
Yeah, I don't. I'm not familiar with the stream, the StreamYard, but
you just go down there to present the bottom. So you get your screen open, you go down there, present, and then it's gonna show you which screen you want to choose that, and then it pops it right up. The little bottom button at the bottom
way
says
too many
present.
tabs.
Well, you know,
I was. Yeah. Let's see here. So.
we got.
I don't want to show that. Nope.
It's all right.
I'll just you know what, dude, look, I'll just say it. So so if you want to go to Kaz.fyi, that, you know, I think minting, whenever I think about minting a meme coin, I see everyone else doing it or whatever. I think the Kaz ecosystem is probably the easiest right now, in the effect that it's not a contract address. Like, you don't have to think about, like, oh, is this name already taken, or am I going to run, you know, step on people's toes or scam or whatever. It is a you know, a 4-letter or a 6-letter coin or token in this case that you get to just choose the name of, and if it's already taken, you cannot use it, right? So there's no contract address. You get the word, boom, you're done, right? So effectively right now, the easiest way is to have a Casware wallet in your browser, and you would go to Kaz.fyi, and then if you're thinking about a name or whatever you want to do, you would just search on the KRC20 tokens on that screen to see if it's already taken. Chances are right now, if you're thinking about it, probably isn't, unless it's, you know, unless it's like Elon or Trump or, you know, whatever, an obvious name.
That's a rug.
Right. So you would type it up there and then see if it's not taken, whatever, and then you would just go to your Casware wallet, and just like you're gonna mint a coin, you would just say, hey, I want to deploy a coin. It costs 1,000 Kaz to do it, which right now is pretty cheap, and that won't be cheap forever, but right now it is. 1,000 Kaz is not very much money to choose a name and all that good stuff. So, you know, and then you get to choose, you know, how many per mint of the token that you get, and your max supply that you're going to allocate to the meme coin. So I think when you did it, Billy, you did 100 million supply, and each mint was 100,000, and you did a no pre-mint, which is a fair launch, and the fair launches go extremely fast, and your numbers, like, yeah, that's gonna go fast, right? So when I did Jackalope, I did I think it was I have to go back and look. I think it was like 80 billion and like 100,000 per mint. One Kaz is, you know, you get like 100,000 of that token. That's what that means. So if you go to Kaz.fyi, you can actually search. If you click on age, that will, if you refresh the age page, that'll show you like the new fresh ones coming up, right? They'll come up like every hour. You're gonna get some if they sound cool, as long as it's 0% pre-mint, it looks green, cool name, you know, stuff like that. You can take the gamble on minting some. But yeah, man, you did yours, and I did mine. I think it looks like yours sold out really quick, man. I'm just looking at yours right
Oh
now.
yeah, it was like 10 minutes. It was gone, man. It was.
Yeah, you have 833 holders right now of yours.
So let's talk.
What happens to it?
Yeah, like what? How? So with no liquidity being established by the person minting it or creating it,
right. So what?
Yeah, how does that work?
So what happens is whenever you spend that 1,000 CAS to create that meme coin, what happens is that partly like CAS.FYI, just to start the process, they get a tiny bit of that, but most of that goes to miners. So when what I'm doing right now is I have a few Kaspa ASIC miners, and they're running on Solo. So currently the Solo block is, I think, is like we just had a reduction. I think it's like, let's just say 80 CAS if you hit a block. Well, when this craze is going on, I hit a block and I hit 600 CAS because all of those coins go to the miners who are mining on the DAG. So that's what happens through your liquidity. But what happens is the way it works differently, I guess, with like Solana or Ethereum or whatever. So the liquidity actually comes from, let's just say that if you launch a meme like you and I did, right?
Mhm.
And the second you hit launch, you hit mint, as the creator, you would quickly go in there and be like, mint, I want to mint my own because I'm going to do a fair launch, but hey, I'm the first one. Try to get some, at least a little bit. You don't want to go crazy, but get a little bit. And then what happens is it's a fair launch, so it's up to the traders, man, to create the liquidity, and you can trade that on the you have to use the right. A lot of the new ones, you have to use the Telegram bot, the CAS bot on Telegram until they hit an exchange. I don't know if mine or yours is going to hit an exchange, whatever, right? But it depends on the people, like
I was
it's
going to
a
say,
fair
how do
launch.
they trade it? Like those people, those 800 people own that coin now, but how do
Right.
they get any value out of it if it's not going to be out there in even a decentralized exchange? So can they
Yeah.
trade it on any CAS decentralized exchange?
Yeah, so I'm looking at yours, and so yours is really new. So the people who want to buy and sell yours, since it's already minted out, like it's gone, like the
It's
supply is
gone in
gone,
10 minutes.
right? Yeah, it's gone, right? So the liquidity now is upon the holders. So they can go to the Casper bot right now and put up bids for buys and sells, which is it's a Telegram extension that plugs into the Casper wallet, and that's where and that's now where things get traded. So once, let's just say you make up a logo, you make up an X page, a website, whatever you want, you want to make it fun, exciting, whatever. Mine is kind of like I can show you my my Twitter account for mine.
Yeah, man.
It's more
Yeah.
for the lulz, but once the community decides its value and starts trading it, that's where the liquidity comes from. Since you fermented it, you don't own much of it,
I only own
none of it.
1,000 of, but that 1,000 of
Right,
those coins because I didn't even
right.
know how it was working, and I was doing it more for research and to be able to speak about it and to be able to understand. You got to do it. Like if you
Right.
got to do it, right? So I wanted to be able to do it so I could speak about it, but I was confused about like where the liquidity comes from.
Exactly. So so basically, as soon as the community decides, like I want Billy Goat. Let's just say that if you created one that was called Bill Goat, you and I could have worked on this. We can still work on it.
Yeah,
But
man.
let's just say that we create one, and the community decides, like, yeah, I want to invest in it. It's just fun. Yeah, it's a meme, right? It's all meme. Everything's a meme. But even Bitcoin. But so let's just decide that that's the thing. The community decides on the liquidity, on its value. So currently, the Casbot the Casbot Telegram is where people trade all these ones that are not on dexes or sexes yet. As soon as they become popular, that's when the dexes like Exodex, There's a couple others that will start adding that to it. And then you'll start getting on like Trader.org and XX and eventually Mexi and stuff like that. If they become more popular, then they will. But it's the community that drives the CAS situation, because everything effectively is a fair launch. So it's not like you yourself, you're going to go put 10 grand down and be like, this is my locked liquidity. It's totally
Yeah.
different.
Totally different. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just a different way of doing it. And then this month we have, I think in about 4 or 5 days, Tangem is adding all the KRC20 compatibility to their hardware wallet. So we're gonna be able to have that here, to hold it locally soon. So yeah, we got that. I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming for it, but yeah.
No, it's all good stuff, man. Because is Retro Mike in the chat? If he is, he's probably being quiet because he's our anti CAS guy.
Red man's got the you like
That's for you, Berkey.
Hey, there we go, man. Yeah, we love our jackalopes out here in the desert of Idaho. So sweet.
That's a big jackalope right there, bro.
Represent. Oh man, they taste good.
They taste
good. Well, we appreciate you being able to talk us through that, because it was very mind blowing today. I've just been set up with either Ethereum or Cardano and how it works, and I got into the CAS and I was like, let me walk through this, and I just couldn't figure out where the liquidity was coming from, since you didn't have to lock any liquidity or come off of any liquidity, and I didn't even realize that it cost me 1,000 CAS or whatever you said it was. I didn't even realize that. So I was like, it seemed like it was seamless and fast and easy. Right. Mm-hmm. And then I was wondering, well, where does the value start coming from?
Right.
And
exactly.
So what you're saying, so anyone that's out there that wants to launch a meme on CAS, you just go to that CAS FYI, right? And
Mm-hmm.
and you put your name in there that you are thinking that you want to do, and you see if it's taken or not, right? And then from there, I just went right into my Casware wallet, clicked on the icon, and it popped up to go ahead and create a mint. And I used Billy, and it was available. And so I just walked through the steps that it said, which was pretty simple. And then I bought 1,000 of them, not knowing what you just said, Burke, which is, hey, if you're doing a fair launch on CAS, and you lost 100 million of them, say, then you want to, next step is go in there and buy your own little bag of them if you want them. Because I wasn't certain how many holders were buying it. It just went so fast. I didn't know if it was one guy buying them all or what. I was like,
dude, I looked at, you told me this today, dude, and I went and checked, and I was like, dude, you did 100 million, and you did, or whatever, 100 million, and you did 100,000 per CAS per mint, right? And I'm like, dude, that would go fast. And it was a fair launch. Yeah, man, for sure, dude. And
but I only bought 1,000 of them.
Yeah,
right?
but did you jump on it the second after you hit mint? Like,
pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
Did you?
Yeah,
it went fast. Well, yeah, you should have done like 80 billion and like 100,000 per minute.
Yeah, it was just me goofing, man. So I know next time, right?
Right, and it's all good, man. And that's why I did this too, just for practicing. And actually, what I'm kind of talking to a couple of people about doing is, I might make Lope. We might do a proof of work version of a meme for Lope coming up. But anyway, man, it's just fun to learn, dude. I just like doing it.
I'll mine it, Berkey.
Yeah, there we go. Let's put our ASICs on Lope, dude.
There you go.
Right. So, yeah, man.
Lope heavy hash. Let's go.
There we go. Lope heavy hash. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, we got Crescendo coming up for CAS. beginning of 2025, man, it's gonna be awesome, dude. So if you are a Kaz miner, dude, if you put that thing on solo, right now it's 1 block per second to be able to hit that lotto. You're gonna have 10 times a second to hit a lotto on Crescendo, 10 blocks per second pretty soon, which is I'm excited for, man. So anyway, I'm getting ready for that. I just overclocked my miners, so yeah, I'm just getting ready for that.
So what do you see the movement in CAS in 2025? What do you think? Just a prediction, and opinion, right? Just where do you see CAS's top being in 2025 in your gut? Like just what your feeling is, your gut feeling.
Well, financial advice is what I'll give. No, I'm just
okay.
kidding.
Go ahead.
I won't.
See that disclaimer down at the bottom scrolling right now?
You didn't just say that.
Totally not, but probably. No, but it's not. But yeah, it is.
No,
No, it's not. But so currently, right now, is what we have is a massive 4-hour inverse head and shoulders being created on the 13.6 range, which is what I already was drawn out for. I expected that because we did about I don't know, about a 20x for from back in the day. We expected this. It has to happen, right? After doing 20, actually we did more than a 20x, I guess. I don't want to brag, but we expected this, right? We know this is going to consolidate for quite a while because during the whole bear run, it was the only thing that ran up, right? So we expected this to happen. And currently we see an inverted 4-hour inverse head and shoulder happening right now, and you can just pull it up and look at it. Your RSI on the 4-hour and the daily is smashed down to the ground. This is the bounce level right here. What I see crescendo happening. Look, tomorrow. What's the 18th? Right? Yeah, tomorrow, the 18th. We have the FMOC happening. And traditionally, that is the day that Kaz does its hard rallies. If you go back and look, every single FMOC, coming out, we're going to have our rate cuts tomorrow. We predict what, a 0.5. That is, if you go back and you match it up with the cash chart, that is when it rallies really, really hard. And it's been a little while, but that's coming. And we expect that to happen tomorrow, which lines up with this inverse head and shoulders that we see right now. And then crescendo is going to happen, dude. 10 blocks a second, more exchanges. Things are going to get crazy. I see financial advice. Look, I'm never going to sell all my CAS, even in the bull run, because I don't need to. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I'll always keep a dolphin around in a hardware, right? But 2025, an easy $1.30, is where I see. But that's just the beginning, dude. And that's when smart contracts start coming online, is around that time. So $1.30, then smart contracts, and then you're going to start seeing, it's the bear market, blah blah blah, but smart contracts just came on. It's going to retrace a little bit, blah, right? I'm not going to sell it all. I'm going to keep it, but it's going to get wild, dude. There's nothing that really, Solana's fast, dude, but when it goes fast, it just breaks, right? So
it's been known to do that for sure. But it's been a hell of a return on an investment. You got to give that up to Solana, man.
Well, I wish I would have hit that thing at 11. I was watching that crash on the Solana, dude. I was like, okay, if this thing hits $1, I'll throw $1,000, man.
I bought it at $12.05, man. And everybody was saying, you're crazy, it's going down. I was like, this is an opportunity. It's the Solana. They got a huge community. And I was like, it's not going down. They'll be back. But full disclosure, I sold it at $58, on its way up to 200. I was like, man, this is a hell of a return. I'm taking my money and I'm getting out. I wish I would have kept it, but hey, I did well. So, And I'm gonna,
Yeah, dude, and that was the right call. I mean, I was hoping for lower, and it just never did for me. You know what I'm really heavy into is Dexes. You know what? Like Cake and 1 inch stuff like that has not ran yet, dude. And look at their previous all-time highs versus where they're at now. The Dexes have not ran, and those things are gonna run, dude. Like, and people aren't paying attention. They're like focused on XRP and
Solana and yeah.
yeah, Sui. I like Sui. I'm kind of in that too, right? I got some Sui, but and I'm in a lot of the AI stuff. I'm mining a lot of the AI stuff. The Chlor AIs.
How many miners do you have going, Bert?
I have it's high desert winter here in Idaho, so to offset the heating, I have, and these are all home miners. They're not like the
Yeah,
loud,
yeah.
annoying things, right? Traditional 110 voltage, right? And,
Yeah.
I'm not running dual phase or anything, but I've got four Lotto Bitcoin miners running, the little Nano 3s. Those are running me about 12 to 13 terahash on medium. And it's kind of spread out through the house, keeping the house kind of warm. Then I've got like 3 CAS Ultras, K heavy hash, overclocked. Then I have a couple PC, just a few CPUs for spec mining early stuff, and then a couple of GPUs, mid grade. But yeah, it really offsets the cost for gas, even though electricity is more than gas. But it's still fun. It helps out. And all this bear market and the stuff falling down, whatever. I'm still like, well, I'm making coin just sitting there. So, like these retraces that we've just seen because of the Bitcoin dominance, like it's so annoying, and we all feel it on our altcoins right now.
Oh
But
yeah.
it's annoying, right? But we know it's gonna bounce. But it's kind of nice just knowing that you're just making coin just during the downtime. You're like, well, at least I'm making coin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're creating them, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Bert, it's funny you said that Bitcoin dominance is rising. Well, you said it dropped. Well, it did drop, but now it's rising again with the price, right? But
yeah, it's retracing, and it's so annoying, dude. It's just,
I think the big thing is when it starts to drop again, and that's going to happen probably in the next couple of weeks. We'll get a dominance drop, and alts will start to run again. Just like keep in mind the money flow, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, large caps. Then phase 4 is alt season. So
yeah, baby.
We got a brief stint of alt season in this Bitcoin drop here, a brief stint, and now it's creeping back up. And I think it's going to drop again. We're going to make higher lows, and alt season will commence. But
yeah, and that's what we're waiting for. If it wasn't for that Bitcoin dominance meme coin chart, man, we'd be flying. I really hate that thing. That's my the Bitcoin dominance is like my most annoying thing, dude, lately. It's just
and it's been going up.
Yeah. It is bearishly retesting right now, which is nice, dude. But it is annoying to wait. It's like, come on, man, just die.
Just die so the alts can go, right?
Right.
I think it's gonna keep, being pretty strong as we get through this. It's Dave Digital. There you go, Dave. I think it's going to be pretty strong because if a lot of people are calling for even the top of the chart to be in that 150, 160 range, 170, and if that's the case, man, there's going to be a lot of people continuing to come in and buying Bitcoin. All these countries, all these corporations that might start stocking that in their treasury, all these states in America that are passing legislation to try to make their treasury hold Bitcoin. It could be a while, man. I don't know. I mean, none of us know, right? But it's interesting.
Hey, did you hear what Michael Saylor said the other day, dude?
What was that?
He said, Bitcoin is going to be like the top money reserve, and then he said, And then there's going to be a couple other top proof of work coins.
Wow.
I was like, dude, he knows. Dude, and you know why he knows? It's because Marathon Digital, right? And did you see Trump's pick for the SEC chairman?
Yeah.
Paul Atkins. He's on boards of the securities, which is partnered with Zodia. And Zodia just listed Kaspa for custodian services.
Wow.
I'm not making this up, dude. I'm just paying attention. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, brother.
It's gonna get crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Jimmy Jim made it. Jimmy Jim made it.
I'll stop shilling, but just
Well, listen, we for all you X watchers or listeners right now, I guess you're not watching because we don't have video on X, I don't think. Do we, Tony? Do we have video on X? We do have video on X. Okay.
So know it.
Tony's all over it, making it happen. So this is Billy Goat Tales. We come live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we typically have guests on. We talk all things crypto. We also are a personal development space, a leadership space. So we go over all kinds of good things, how to ensure that you're living your best version of yourself and your best life. We talk about things like honor, dignity, character, persistence, taking action, setting good goals, habits. We get into the deep stuff of the human existence and how to lead and how to be the best version of yourself. So we cover it all here on Billy Goat Tales. Please like and subscribe. We appreciate you. It's great to see we up to 136 viewers both on X and YouTube right now. So that's great to hear and great to see. So with that, Burke, and you feel free to hang around, but we're going to kick it over to Redman, who Redman's going to walk us through tonight. For all you people that are hearing about these AI agents and you're hearing about virtuals, and if you invested in virtuals, it's pumped pretty nicely. Your bag's up. But you hear a lot of this stuff on these YouTube channels. We wanted to kind of take it step by step and actually launch one tonight on Billy Goat Tales. And since Redman is our resident expert here that's already done it, you're an expert now, Redman, because you've done it once. We are going to turn it over to you and have you walk us through this so we can show the audience how to create an AI agent with virtuals. And Bert, stick around if you want, man. It's totally up to you.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a BGT AI agent here, and this is gonna be on apps.virtuals.io.
Wow, are you grainy on? Is he grainy to you guys, or is it just on my?
Yeah.
It's my chroma key. I gotta mess around with it.
Oh man, it's never like that though. I've never seen you so grainy like that before. That's
I'm a grainy guy. I'm a little grainy guy. So
what'd you say, Tony? Hold on there, Red Man. What'd you say, Tony?
It's the AI bots trying to take him down. He's not going away.
They're working together to build infrastructure L1 against me. So no, but so you're gonna come to this website here.
Well, you got to read that to us because I can't even see it.
Yeah, the screen's so blurry you can't even
from
make it out.
1976.
Oh, nice, Tony.
There's Tony.
Hey, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
And now back from 1976.
Easy now, Tony. End up
Let me
back
see
in
if I
the
can-
damn hospital.
Yeah.
Shook
So
in
kind
John's
of
damn butt.
read it out to us,
You know what?
Red Man.
Let's do this. We'll do this. Boom. How's it now?
Still grainy.
Still
Is that
very
better?
grainy. Why don't you
Looks
do
like
this?
my grandma's TV.
Why don't you pop off and pop back on, man? Just see if you can reset that because this is going to be some really good stuff, and I want to make sure everybody can see it. And yours has never been grainy, man. So it's like crazy that it is now. Yeah.
In the meantime,
there you go, Tony. Go for
in
it.
the meantime, let's talk through the BGT Mint. It's still live. Sorry, I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Is that too big? Is that good? And I've got some statistics for you all. There are still 46 full books available, meaning there are still 46 chapter 9s available on the mint. We've minted 252 so far. I think the guys said that they shared some of my hospital video the other day on Sunday. I was so excited, and maybe they didn't, but I was so excited. I had to record a video in my hospital gown. It was appropriate. It was like head, shoulders up. But just with all my excitement for the
It was
mint,
100% not appropriate. 100%.
I was sorry I missed it, but we still
And
got
we
it going
definitely
on.
shared it.
That's good. So we still got that going on. We've still got plenty of Easter eggs. I think all of the Easter eggs, there's 102 total, and there's still 80 Easter eggs available. So there's 47 holders, and I haven't figured out how many full book holders there are yet, but I know there's at least 4 or 5. And like I said, there's still 46 of those chapter 9s available. For those of you who have that whitelist, it's 20 ADA. Without the whitelist, it's 25 ADA. Still very, very cost effective to jump in. There's only 10 different NFTs, and each one of those will give you 3 chapters of the book. And so, like right here, cover 1, strength of community. I'm going to make that smaller so that it actually fully fits the screen. So cover 1, strength of community, gives you the preface, which is chapter 0, gives you the appendix, which is chapter 31. And in that preface, we do a little bit about each of us. We also give you like the how and what happened, what was the genesis of it, and how we went through the process to create the book. And then there's a table of contents in there. So no matter what chapter you get, you can see which chapters fall under which book cover. And so we have those 10 images that are our book covers. And then the appendix, the first part of it is all the speakers. And then we have the YouTube links for all of our friends that stream, even Crimson Caravan, he does it on Twitch. So we've got his Twitch link. So any of our creator friends, we've got their links there on every page. And then everybody who spoke on chapter 1, you'll have a whole page of all the speakers, chapter 2 all the way through the end. And at the very end of the appendix is all of the X spaces. I think there's 32 total because there was 2 rugs, but we've got both parts of those audios. And chapter 8, we had Charles Hoskinson. It was about a 4-hour space. So we didn't use all of it because not all of it was on topic. I know we've given a lot of shout outs, Billy. A lot of shout outs to all the creators and some of the big names that maybe brought in thousands of people. But I just want to give a shout out to all of our community members because our community showed up weekly. You know, we had Andrea was always in there, Zach's Money Facts. We had Dave Brumbelow. We have so many people. All Set was there, I think, almost every week. So we had so many people that were always there. Some of them spoke. Many of them didn't, but they were always there, and we continue to have the support of the community, and that's why chapter 1 is community, and we love you all. So
well, and let me say this too, guys, if you have never minted an NFT and you don't really care about them, it's just not for you, right? Then I would say if you're ever going to mint one, this is the easiest way to mint one. You go to our website, right up at the top, it says NFT mint, you click it. The only thing complicated that you'd have is you just got to make sure you have a Cardano wallet. And you go to the App Store, download Vesper wallet, and boom, you have a Cardano wallet now. It's simple as that. And you just go right in there, and you got to say from Coinbase, move over 30 ADA, and then you just connect that wallet to our website. It's so simple. It's so fast and easy and efficient. But here's the takeaway that we think is going to be long-term good for you guys in our community. And it's why we did it. We are, and I will give anyone $100 in Bitcoin if they prove me wrong here. So here's a challenge to the chat. Prove me wrong. And you got guys like RMT, he'll go digging on this, man. I'll love it. I'll love it. Prove me wrong. But I say this right now, guys, we are the first and the only ever in the history of blockchain to record 30x spaces on professional and personal development, record it, not only turn it into a book, but turn it into an NFT book. on Cardano. I don't think it's ever been done before. This is season 1. This is the first series. This is it. So now, if that doesn't excite you, there's something else. Baked into that metadata are those Easter eggs that we talked about. We at the team here have not decided. We have so many great ideas. And so we're not going to announce what those Easter eggs are going to be. But if you hold one of those, and that's what we're trying to ensure, is that our loyal community that holds their NFT book, or a few of the NFTs with the 3 chapters on each NFT, that and it has an Easter egg, and you'll see that in the metadata to say yes, has an Easter egg. Those folks are going to be put on a wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, and we're going to give those great prizes. And we're talking about, I'm not talking about right now, you get the Golden Gold Award if you hold the most NFTs when we're done with our mint. And there's 2 of these. There's 2 of these. And then the next 5 get our official Billy Goat Tails socks. So there's 7 top people there. But these little trinket gifts right here, these are more of bragging rights. That's really what they are. The wheel with the Easter eggs, we're talking about something way more consequential than the Golden Gold Award and the socks. So we're trying. Number 1, we are the first and the only, and number 2, we're going to use this in our community, our NFTs, as we build out our community and as we use them for giveaways and use them as part of a loyalty reimbursement. Basically, thanks for minting with us, and you get your chance to win this particular. It could be a trip, it could be a vacation, it could be a ride on Jimmy's horse. Jimmy's got horses out there. It could be a visit to the hospital where Bob stayed. But we have some really, really big ideas that we are all connected.
Sandwiches.
What's that?
No more roast beef sandwiches
roast beef sandwiches. So yeah. So try to go to our website, try to mint it. We'll walk you through it. We have our Discord open. We're in there answering questions all the time. But a lot of first time minters that never minted before said, hey, this was pretty seamless. This is pretty easy. So we want to take that fear away. Joe, thank you for the +1, brother. We appreciate you. Now, let's get back onto this virtual conversation. Redman, how are you doing, bro? You good?
Well, before we do that, I just want you to know that I'm still voting for the foot massage as an Easter egg from Tony.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. I'm looking for Tony to give out the foot massage. Yeah,
that's
that
what
sounds
I'm
fun.
talking about.
I want a Dave Digital breakfast.
Yes. So
I don't know. Those
I'll
dinners
make the
are pretty
breakfast.
good.
Tony does the foot massage.
No avocados.
Because you definitely.
Well, I do want to say before we switch topics, we did put out a poll that said, have you started reading the book? And out of 7 folks, 5 have already started reading. 1 says not yet, and 1 says when audiobook. Well, we'll see.
We have lots of plans for that book. There's other things being built, going to be built around that book mint. So we want to get it minted out over the next month here, and then we can really start having fun with some of the gamification with that.
And for those that say, or for anybody who says, yes, I need help with the Cardano wallet, jump in our Discord, tag me, we'll get you going.
I want a Jimmy Jim signed Lego man.
Oh,
Just not the little gold.
Alexandra G wants a Dave digital dinner.
Oh,
I don't want that
That's
one
hot.
they found that the doctor
sounds
found
like
last
a
week.
date.
I don't want that Lego.
That's hot.
Right, Jimmy?
Sounds
That
like
one
a
that the
date,
doctors
Dave.
found. Hmm?
Thank you, Alexandra G. Putting that Discord link in our chat.
Yeah, the Lego that the doctors found last week, Jimmy. Are you going to sign that one, or you?
Yeah, I mean, was that one that's like that long? About that wide?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. All right. Let's get on to the virtuals here. Yeah, flip foul. So if I was in the chat, I'd be laughing, Dave. Dave, I can't print that. So Red,
Yeah.
you good to go, man?
Yeah. So
Go ahead, bro.
so just you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put I think Joe asked earlier, Trade Intuition, shout out to Joe, by the way, asked earlier if we could put the website in the chat. So I will work on that, Joe, when I get done with this little presentation here. So Billy Goat Tales, so you're gonna go into create agent, and it's gonna bring you to this screen, and I went ahead and filled it out. So
Can you blow it
gonna
up
ask for
slightly?
agent name. The agent name is going to be Billy Goat Tales. The ticker is going to be BGT. I put the description. I put kind of what we do. I took this from our scripts from the X-based topics. It's going to be an information agent. Here it asks you productivity, entertainment. What is that one? On-chain information or creative. You can pick which kind of agent that you want. And I went ahead and put information because we're in the.
So what website is this, Red?
It's going to be app.virtuals.io.
App.virtuals.io.
Yeah, here, I'll put it in the chat right now for you guys.
Okay.
See if I can get in here.
So I want the community to walk through this with us so they know how to do it if they're interested in doing it. So yeah.
And there you go. I'll put it under the Billy Goat Tales. Yep, there we go. So, okay, so the app, so that should be in the chat. You guys see that? Okay, there you go, Joe. Or Joe sees it. All right. So, coming back over here, it's going to ask you for your Twitter. It's going to ask you for your Telegram. This is all Billy Goat Tales. Billy Goat Tales Twitter, Billy Goat Tales Discord, Billy Goat Tales YouTube, Billy Goat Tales website. You got the BillyGoatTales.io.
So you added all that already for us.
So I went ahead. Yeah, I was just doing that in the background.
Okay. So somebody new would be adding that stuff themselves if they wanted to, right?
So they would add their personal, right? Whatever their personal is to each of these. Or if you're gonna just keep it separate from yourself and you're gonna create a whole new personality, you can create a Twitter and a Discord and a YouTube, create your own community, start from scratch. This is like bare bones, start from scratch AI agent, which, to let you guys know, it is a chatbot to begin with, and we'll kind of go over that. At the bottom, it says agent's data cannot be changed after creation until it hits a market cap of $1,056,000. So if you get that high, congratulations, you are a big winner. On the Price is Right. But we're going to go ahead and create this agent, and this is where we're going to pay. So the creation fee is 100 virtual now. 100 virtual. So it's like $2.56. Man, that's a lot more than I thought. It was $5 when I created mine. Wow, it really went up. Okay.
How much is it?
Yeah. So choosing it's optional, but buying a small amount of coins can help protect your coin from snipers. Virtual available balance 46.51. So we got 46 available, but this thing says agent creation fee is 100 virtual. Your initial buy. Let me see if it'll just do 5 virtual, and we'll see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, it won't even.
Poor Red man. You just got the worst luck, don't you?
Every time. They must have just changed this, Billy, because I created mine with five virtual, just like David did. Yeah, we're gonna have to come back to this. So, yeah, sorry guys. This must be new. I guess they're trying to cut down on how many agents people create. Yeah, $270. Wow, dude.
Well, how do you buy virtuals?
Well,
how do you buy that token? I don't even know how to buy the token. How do you buy the
This
token?
is another thing too, and I was telling my family member about that. Without putting my wallet on the screen here, I'm just going to tell you guys. So he had a problem buying virtuals. He thought virtuals was ERC20. Virtual protocol is not ERC20. Virtual protocol is on the base network. So what you need to do, the way I did it was I bought Ethereum on Coinbase. I sent the Ethereum to my Coinbase wallet, and then I bridged my Ethereum to Ethereum base. So, and then taking the Ethereum base, I swapped that for virtuals, and then I took the virtuals and swapped that for the AI agent I wanted to invest in. And if anybody needs help with this, I'm available in the Discord. Just tag me and I'll help you out with it. I'll walk you through step by step. But I did it all through Coinbase Wallet. It's just easier. They're already synced up. And you can use Uniswap. You can use others, but you got to remember, when you have transactions on the base network, it's not a foreign thing for the transactions to be only a couple of cents. It's very cheap. So whether you use Coinbase Wallet, whether you use Uniswap, gas fees are typically pretty cheap unless it's super high traffic, and then you'll get you might pay maybe $1 or $2 for gas fees. And that's the kind of lucrative thing about Base is the transactions are faster because Base is an L2, right? Base is built on optimism, right? So it's faster transactions and they're also cheaper. So I use Base. I love Base. I took virtual protocol and I looked at the whole ecosystem and I invested in the AI agents that I thought had the most promise, the ones with the most functionality, the ones you can actually use to your advantage, and without shilling all of them. I'm just gonna tell you. I mean, some of them are for staking. Some of them you can use to analyze the market yourself.
So one way you could do it is you could probably just have Ethereum base in Uniswap and go in there and swap it for virtuals. Wouldn't you be able to do that?
Yeah, because it has to be on the base chain, not ERC20.
Right.
So you have to bridge your ERC20 to base and then swap that token for your AI agent. So there is one extra move that you have to do, and that's just bridging over to base.
So when you go to that website and you have actual virtuals in your Uniswap wallet or your Coinbase wallet, you have at that point, like say on Uniswap, I swap my Ethereum base for virtuals. When I go to that website, do I connect my wallet to that so it sees that I have that?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
And it will ask you up in the right-hand corner, it'll say connect wallet.
Okay.
And then your Coinbase wallet or your Uniswap wallet, whichever wallet you're using will pop up and you'll be able to pay for your AI agent, which I was surprised. It was $5 for me and David.
Well, what's it going to be now? You said 100 virtuals is what?
It's 100 virtuals is $270 because it's $2.70 per virtual.
Wow. So it went from $5 to $270, huh?
Yep.
Well, the virtuals has been skyrocketing.
Yeah, it's expensive now.
Yeah, dude.
When we got into the game, it was still below $1 when we got in. When me and David got in, it was still below $1. It was still pretty cheap. Big shout out to Sin City Crypto. They were talking about virtuals when it was 17 cents.
Yeah,
and they've had their head down and buying bags of virtuals ever since then. So shout out to them. They did it right. For me, I got in a little later. So for me, it was more advantageous to invest in the proxy coins in that protocol and not necessarily virtuals. Because I mean, if you invest in virtuals right now, the chances of you getting more than a 10x is pretty slim, but you might be able to get that with the proxy coins that are coming out on the virtual protocol. So, I mean, this is all, of course, not financial advice, and we definitely recommend you being responsible with your money.
It is, though. It's
also high risk. So the AI agents is high risk. It's a meme slash AI agents, which has use case, but they do things. It's not like a meme where you're buying a pretty picture or ugly picture or whatever. No, AI agents actually have use case, and they are going to have more use case the more they're utilized.
So let's plan on actually launching this on our Sunday stream. So, we'll make sure we have some virtuals in our wallets to send over and actually do one. I'd like to go through the actual. Here's how you do it. So the first step is you got to take and get some base Ethereum. Then you got to swap that for virtuals. Now, once you have that, you can go and connect to the website, connect your wallet, and then from there you fill in all those information blocks with like your Discord, your information, and then from there you probably at the bottom is there like a create button or something that you hit and that launches it.
So you would go ahead, press create agent, then it would ask for you to pay. I'm assuming this is just to fund your liquidity to get it started. And it says right here at the top, it says it's optional, but buying a small amount of coins can help protect your coin from snipers. So they're assuming this thing's going to get sniped as soon as you put it on the market. Which,
what do you mean sniped?
Well, sniper bots will come in and they'll buy it and then they'll dump it on everybody, and they usually get in faster than everybody else. But
are you doing it for the actual utility of the AI agent doing things, or are you doing it for the profit generation of? Because I still don't understand that piece really. It's like if it's going to cost me 200 virtuals to create it, and that could be used as the original liquidity pool, I understand that part. But then how are they, if that's not on an exchange, how are they?
Oh, but it is though.
It is
the virtual protocol. I mean, basically the virtual protocol site is an exchange. You can go in there and buy and sell tokens on virtual protocols.
So can you pull that up, virtual protocols, and show us?
Yeah.
Yeah, pull that up. Take that one down and pull up, and let's see what that looks like. This is it. Look, guys, the AI agent space, the whole AI piece, this is just part of it. And we hear about it globally all the time, but to really know what it does and how to do it, it's like that's the piece I think we're always missing. And I'm trying to make sure that we can bring that to you so you can do it if you want to do it on your own. Now, also, while you're doing that, Red, I'm still confused, and maybe Burke, but I'm still confused on like, all right, what's the benefit of creating an AI agent? What can it do for me?
Well, the benefit is, go ahead, Burke. I'm sorry.
No, man, you're into this one, man. I was just gonna say it's just like any of the other stuff, like the KRC 20 stuff like that. If you get the name first, it's kind of like buying a domain name. I think it's if you get the name first, that's kind of what people are jonesing for right now is getting that name. It's just like when the domain names went on OpenSea, the dude who bought beer, .wallet, whatever. Bud Light came out, or Anheuser-Busch came out and bought it for $300,000 from them. I think it's getting the name first.
Gotcha. I understand that as it relates to a meme. I don't necessarily understand it as it relates to an AI agent. And the other thing with that is there's so many blockchains now.
It's my understanding that they actually have agent functions. So they can actually do stuff autonomously, or they will be able to, from what I understand. So they'll be able to go and create and utilize Twitter profiles and other social media. They'll be able to make videos. They'll be able to promote themselves. They'll be able to interact with other memes or other tokens. So there's a lot of functionality that's coming down the road.
Right.
I think.
Yeah,
So what,
not all the way here.
What Dave's referring to is these AI agents can become sentient. They can think for themselves. And when they start to think for themselves, they can start to create. I was going to get into that. Game is the infrastructure, is built the infrastructure on what all of these AI agents are built on. This one AI right here. And that's its functionality, right? Luna, and you'll know this by doing your own research, Luna is an entertainment AI agent. She has a TikTok that has over 600,000 followers because she's learned how to entertain people, interact, and she tweets. She tweets every day. I follow her.
Luna is a normal word. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And that's the whole key is like you want to get Bob. You don't want
Well, yeah. If you look behind me, I was looking into this a little bit
1766554.
earlier.
Yeah.
If you guys look behind me on the screen, I was looking into this today also, actually, and I asked Grok, I asked, this thing is asking for a description, tell me what to do, and it said he wanted to call my agent artist, and its ticker is going to be art, and the description is artist is a creative AI designed to assist artists and designers with a friendly and innovative personality. Art specializes in generating art concepts, providing color, theory advice, and offering critiques on visual compositions. Artist is passionate about art history. So this is what art is going to do. He's going to go out and he's going to engage with other artists. I didn't create him
art.
yet.
Yeah, dude, you get art as the name for your agent. Like, holy
Right.
crap, dude. That's, that's big, man. It's not art 5564433 exclamation point. It's art. Like you got that domain name, right? And that space, man. That's gonna be big, dude.
And when these
It's like a 3-letter domain.
When these AI agents hit a specific market cap, Virtuals will put out a Telegram channel and an X space or a Twitter X handle as well. And the AI agent will interact with the community on its own thought process. It will put out tweets on its own. It will be speaking to other AI agents on its own. There's 2 agents right now that are building an L1 blockchain on their own with no human interaction. They're doing this. So that's where the functionality, that's where it pays off to learn the functionality of each AI agent and what they do so that you can tailor it to what your specific interests are.
Yeah,
But-
so when you're building
Microsoft
it, Billy, you can,
Copilot is technically an AI agent.
it is,
Anybody
well,
who has
it's,
a
yeah,
Windows
well, no,
11
no,
machine.
it's an AI. Copilot's an AI unless you release it, right? And to do things.
No, I mean, I
autonomously.
can use it to do all kind of business related stuff. If I've got a sales email, someone emails it, and I could say, take this email, file it in a leads folder, and in return, send that email address this PDF about this service I offer. So I mean, you can automate anything pretty much.
Yeah, but these
Windows
things make
Copilot
decisions
or
on their
Microsoft
own
Copilot
without prompts.
is a great example. I mean, everybody has that. If you just pop into your Windows or Microsoft Copilot, and you can look and see all the different things you can do, from a business productivity standpoint. And depending on what you do, how the AI agent is created, it's going to be able to do all kinds of different things. It'll be able to trade for you. It'll be able to,
And so
do
when
all
you're
kinds
creating
of
it,
things.
it asks you what kind of agent type you want. And then it has the drop down that says you can have a creative agent, an educational agent, a technical agent, a business agent, an entertainment agent, or a lifestyle agent. So it wants you to categorize it right when you're building it. So these are the basic categories that they have available. And then they'll just branch out. Once they start to gain traction, they'll start to do things on their own. Like Jeff says, they'll become sentient. I think that may be an overstatement at this point because they're not gonna. I mean, humans are sentient, right? We're the only ones with consciousness, supposedly. So I don't know that they'll become sentient, but they will become completely automated, and they will have decision making abilities. So they'll be able to tell themselves that they want to go do this thing, and then they can go do that thing. And so they can alone be their own marketing.
So Jeff, when you were filling out that form, do you have to choose which kind of AI agent? Was that one of the boxes you have to click?
Right. And so for Billy Goat Tales, since we're an information channel and we're educational, I chose the information bot for right now. So that will tailor to gathering information on the internet that we think is, is good.
Gotcha.
And it will take that and it will analyze everything pertaining to information. Instead of a human looks at one page at a time, right? Well, AI can look at multiple pages, multiple times, search queries much better. It's just eventually it'll get to that point to where it's like you'll have everything at your fingertips much, much faster than you just streaming through the internet and looking at stuff one thing at a time, and it'll keep you on track. I mean, there's a lot of ways. When I filled out the application on Agent Starter, I put in my dream for an AI agent, and my dream is to make time more efficient for my life. Remind me of the things I need to do. I likened it to, and call me a nerd, but Iron Man, when he's talking to the AI, that when he's talking to the AI agent that's helping him out through all the little battles and stuff, that's what I want, man. I want that in my life. That is high use case. That is going to make my life better. It'll make everybody else's life better. But for humans have error, they forget. AI doesn't forget, and it plays by a certain set of rules. And if you can tailor it to your rules, man, that could be huge for everybody. It'll make everybody better.
Huge.
Speaking of AI, Jeff, don't forget to connect the Instagram to our IFTT. Thank you.
Instagram or TikTok? I can help with the Insta.
Oh, TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok. That's a little. TikTok is strange, man. TikTok does not let everything in. I could tell you guys that right now. Yeah,
My mom watches TikTok all the time. It's weird.
They have TikTok for 40 and up now.
She's like 70. I don't know, dude. Hey, you guys, I've got to dip out, but I do have one more thing to say.
Yeah, man.
Hey, if anybody, and this is financial advice, if anybody wants a free $40 crypto right now, Coinbase has relaunched their learning rewards, and if you go to if you have a Coinbase account, whatever, if you're in I don't know, US, whatever, if you go to Coinbase right now, you can go to learning rewards on the left over there, and I scored about $40 worth of coinage within about 15 minutes. So
let's go. There's some alpha from GF Burke.
Free money, baby.
Free money, baby. Hey, Burke, thanks for taking the time, man. I know you got a lot going on, so I always appreciate you coming on here, man. And I'll DM you. We'll talk about this other stuff, this next KRC 20 stuff.
Yeah, baby. Thanks for having me on, dude.
You got it, brother.
Thanks, Burke.
Have a good night.
You too.
Peace.
So this AI agent thing, the virtuals, is pretty cool. Redman, you got a chart on the virtuals? Can you pull up a chart on the virtuals?
Absolutely.
Let's see it. Let's take a look at the chart on the virtuals real quick.
That's the Bitcoin dominance. Hold on one second. Let me just get it up here.
And guys, for those of you listening, this is Billy Goat Tales. We stream live on X every Tuesday at 9 p.m. However, this Tuesday we decided to stream both on X and on YouTube. And what we are is we are personal development leadership space within the cryptocurrency community. So we talk about a host of things from crypto all the way to personal development, leadership skills, and things like that. Check out our YouTube channel at Billy Goat Tales, or just type in Givers Gain 111. You get on the YouTube, like and subscribe. We appreciate that. We have a motivational mindset that we drop daily. It's just a 5 to 8 minute video, keep you on track as you're driving into work, get you thinking about your life so that you can become the best version of yourself. We do that, as well as we do project updates. We have people on like Charles Hoskinson, Crypto Crow. We even had the founder of the Trump coin on. Remember that, guys? That was a great space. Yep. So we've had the Kaspa team on before. So we get into different guests. Tonight we had Magic Internet Money on, going over the charts with us. But we've had a lot of people on the X Space, Crypto Lifer, Miss Teen Crypto, Sin City Crypto, Alex O Crypto, Army Piper, Tradefly, all these guys that we've know and come to love, and they're in our community and we're in their community, and we just try to help each other out as much as we can. So try to bring you a lot of alpha, a lot of new information. We had a great stream. I wasn't on the stream, but Jimmy set up a great stream regarding nodes. So in our library, if you want to go check on that, and if you're ever interested in understanding what a node is and how to mine with it or collect coins with it, that's a great video.
Just let me node.
Hey, Rocco, good to see you, buddy. Massey 33, Trade Intuition. We appreciate all you guys popping in. Let's just go through this while Redman's pulling it up. We had Green Day, Al Jr. Thank you for stopping in, man. It's great to see Rusty Bot, TNB, Willa. Good to see you. Of course, Andrea and Alexandra, our mods. We love you guys. All set. Jesse's, the Tall Truth Trill. Nice, man. Thanks for popping in, brother. We appreciate you. Hope you guys like and subscribe to our channel. We appreciate that. Who else we got in here? Of course, all of us are in here. Yeah.
Pennywise.
Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
FD White, Green Day Prophets came in here earlier. Maybe still here. Lunar Beaches, who starts at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Piper Academy show. He'll be streaming tonight. He always streams at that time, Monday through Friday. Who else we have? I think we got most of the people. If not, put a comment in the chat. We'll make sure we come back around to you. Yeah, and we should figure out how to, I don't know if we have the capability yet, but to forward our stream when we're done to Lunar Beach's stream. You know what I mean? I know Piper does that with Miss Teen. Yeah, Piper does that with Miss Teen. What's that, Dave?
One of the things you have to do. I think it's after you're monetized, you're able to raid.
Okay.
Or, head into another stream. I think it's after you get your 1,000 followers and 4,000 watch hours. And I think we're probably doing really good on the watch hours. I just think we're lagging on followers right now. But that comes with time. So don't forget to share out the stream, everybody. Help us get there, because we definitely want to be able to rate other people. And we really want to be able to give you guys emojis, because that's going to be fun. We're looking forward to our first emoji being the WD-40 Rusty Bot.
Gotta happen, man.
Emoji.
Yeah.
So.
All right, go ahead. What do we got on the virtual chart there real quick, Jeff?
So this is going to be AIX bit by virtuals. Like I said, you can swap out virtual protocol token for this token. This token is special because, as you can see, this thing is super new. Started November 24th, but super bullish. So people, excuse me, people picked up on this pretty quickly. And they picked up on this because this is one of those bots with functionality. This is an AI agent that can analyze the whole market and then give you basically analysis on the market before other people pick it up. That's one of the advantages. It will personally give you calls. But you have to buy 600,000 tokens, and right now it's trading at 23 cents. So 600,000 times 23. I don't have a calculator.
That's Jimmy money right there. You need Jimmy money to do that.
That's pretty expensive, but there's some whales out there that'll spin the cake. As you can see, I marked out some support and resistance levels. And then if this little tiny green candle decides to break down, we got a nice little high volume node right here at about 19 cents. That could be a good spot to get in with some support to long right there at 19 cents if it gets down there. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on it. This thing's been super bullish. The most bearish could be down to around 15 cents. And if you grab it there, you know, if it goes through this support right here at 15 cents, it's going to break all the way down to 4 cents. And that's about where I got into it, is around 4 to 5 cents right in here once I saw it start to pop and I found out what it was. Yeah, and I've held all through here. But anyways, that's one of the bots. That's AI XBit. There's another one, Luna. I can go over it if you want, Billy. I know we're getting here at the end, so whatever.
Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
All right, let me find Luna here.
Didn't you want to see
Luna-
virtuals, Billy? I thought you
Luna's
asked for
the
virtuals.
flagship.
Yeah, virtuals.
He
I
asked for
could
virtuals, I think.
I couldn't see what his chart's so small there. I couldn't tell if it was virtuals or not. I couldn't see it.
No, that was AI XBit or something like that. That's
Yeah,
a different
AI.
one.
It's on the virtual protocol. It's AI XBit. I'm just trying to get this thing.
Oh, that's AI XBit, huh? So Lifer's been talking about that one.
This one's on. Yeah. Lifer's been talking about it. Everybody's been talking. This is Luna's. This is the second one I was telling you about. Luna by virtuals. So
All right, hold on a second. So if somebody wanted to buy AI XBit, how do they buy that particular coin?
Well, like I said, you'd have to get virtual protocol token first, and that's after you bridge your ERC.
Yeah, right. So you have
over
virtuals. You can't just can you do that in a Uniswap?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, you can do that in a Uniswap, or you can do that in Coinbase Wallet. So you'd swap it into virtuals, and then you would take your virtuals and swap it into either Luna or AIXBit or whichever one you wanted to pick up. And you could find their contract addresses on that website that I provided everybody with.
I'm going to do that on the live stream on Sunday. So I'm going to actually do the swap so that people can see how to buy AIXBit, because I've been hearing a lot about that coin. And
so my wife's brother was trying to buy AIXBit and couldn't because he didn't realize that AIXBit is on virtuals, which is a base token, not a ERC20 token. So that was the mix up with him. But he's a part-timer, he's not a full-timer. So, but the full-timers will figure it out, right? So this is Luna. Luna's the flagship. And as you can see right now, this is on the daily. It hit the road running, right? This thing popped to begin with. Popped all the way up to 22 cents. And ever since then, we've had this tight accumulation area. I mean, tight. It's super tight in here. It goes, the value area low is what? 3 cents. Value area high is around 11 cents. 11, 12 cents, somewhere in there. But as you can see, this thing's starting to gain momentum a little bit. We got a green dot down here. It's already had its crossover. But this thing, same as AIXBit, this thing will pop here pretty soon as well. I mean,
so does that name does it have anything to do with Luna Classic or Luna?
No, Luna Classic.
I wonder why they came up with Luna for, because a lot of people are standoffish if anything Luna, right?
It's a female name, but yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people associate it with that Luna Classic token. Has nothing to do with it. It's not even in the same blockchain. This is on base. This is not Luna Classic. So yeah, I think
there's a bad marketing decision there for the
yeah, Luna's a big it's big in the East. It's a big name in the East, and they use that for that. I think I'm gonna plug them again, but Dave from Sin City Crypto has been trying to have the one of the founders from Virtual Protocols on his show. The only problem is when it's 11 o'clock here on the Pacific Standard Time, it's like 4 a.m. over there where the Virtual Protocols founders at. So
Looks like we got to have him on since maybe our time zones might match up.
Yeah, let's
Tony, that's
throw
right.
out some feelers. Dave. Yeah, I mean, that's
And then
a
we
good
can
idea.
bring Sin City on, and they can kind of help do some interviewing if they want. They're always welcome.
Yeah, that'd be a kick in the teeth. Wouldn't it? Hey, we're gonna have the founders for virtual on Billy Coattails.
I don't mean it.
Jimmy
that
would
way.
love that. He would be like, "Yeah, Rob."
Here's the virtual chart. Look at the money flow on this puppy. This is virtual protocols. Oh my goodness.
What time frame?
Look at the money flow on that.
What's the time frame?
It's all green. This is a daily. This is all green. That puppy is way overextended.
Well, with your black and white chart,
And
or
there's an
black and
inverse
red
head
chart, I
shoulder.
can't really see anything on that.
Or,
I
here,
know
got
you're
it,
a
Billy.
Raiders fan, but come on,
Billy,
man.
pull me up. I got it on.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Come
pull
on,
up,
man.
Dave.
So what he's talking about on the daily, you see that we have the money flow really thick, but headed back out. And then you can also see this is one of Face's favorite signals is the invert or the head and shoulders here in the momentum. And then you can see it forming there too. Let's take it down to the 4 hour. And you can see, time frames just repeat themselves. It's going on here. And then more than likely, you're going to be. They may trigger wave on you. But all these levels are 618 golden pockets. Just depends, like one of them's from here, one's from here, then one's from here.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
these are. So, I mean, you could do any of that. I would expect you to come all the way back down to 150. And like Red was saying, that's if you don't come all the way back down.
And that one's which one? Luna?
This is virtuals. This
That
is the
one's
main
virtual.
one.
Oh, that's the
This
main
is
one.
the main
Okay.
one. Yeah. This is the one that started it all.
That's the native token. Yeah.
Yeah,
But it would
see,
make sense to at least come down and retouch this value area high right there. That would make sense.
yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of volume right there. There's a lot of
Yeah.
support.
Yeah.
It's amazing. That's good stuff. Good to see you, Rocco. Good to see you, Massey. Appreciate you guys being in here. So listen, guys, we are popping off now. We're at 153. So I thought we would hit our max, but this stream is catching on now for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Because
I
you
guess
added
it's-
video, like I've been saying for the last 6 months.
What
No,
did you say, Billy? On
Jimmy's trying to say that we should have been doing this the whole time is basically what he's saying. So it's fine. What I was trying to say was we were slowly rising up on it's both YouTube and X, and we were at 153 viewers, which was our high for today. But it certainly has not been our high for our Twitter X spaces. So you got to combine those two. We only streamed on Twitter X, and now we're doing both YouTube and X. So yeah, I like this format. Hope it works out for us. But guys, we got to wrap up. Lunar Beaches is on. I don't want to interfere with his time. So we appreciate everybody. Let's go around the horn. Anybody's got final words, final thoughts before we end the stream?
You know what to do. Go mid, baby.
Yep.
So out of the people that responded, most of them have already started reading the book, which is awesome. I hope you all enjoy it. We poured a lot of heart and soul into it, really to try to give back and see if we could just make this come to fruition, and it did. So we really enjoyed it. We hope you do as well. You guys were part of it, and so keep doing that. And then Billy, make sure that we mention what's going on for the next 2 Tuesdays. I think you had talked about doing a book reading or something via Christmas Eve.
Actually, Miss Teen Crypto is going to read our children's book that's on Amazon, The Bridge to Bitcoin. And for Christmas Eve, Miss Teen Crypto is going to read that. And it's going to be probably a shorter stream because it's Christmas Eve. We don't want to keep people from their families. Probably be maybe an hour at the most. But we want to read the children's book, and it's going to be narrated and read by Miss Teen Crypto. Randy's going to do that for us. it's just something nice for the family. If your kids are around, bring them on. Our spaces are G-rated on purpose. So
Yeah, if you have the book, get it. You know, if you've already got the book, grab it, grab your kids, grab your grandkids, get everybody around and read along with us with your book.
Billy, I have a mint question for you.
Don't be grabbing kids.
Well,
On the Vesper wallet,
Mhm.
when it shows an error, what were you? I think we went over this the other day when we minted, but
Yeah,
do you
so
remember?
you go to the bottom right on the Vesper wallet and go into it's a Google search bar. You click that on the
browser,
bottom. It's a browser, so you basically go in there and you put the website billygoattails.io in there, and you go in that way, and then you connect your wallet, and you shouldn't have any problems. So what some people were doing, we're not going in through the browser icon. And it always makes it, and this is pretty much true for all these wallets. It's even MetaMask on ETH, right? So if you go in and try through their browser on MetaMask and you connect that way, it's going to be a lot faster, quicker, and more efficient than if you try to have a separate tab outside of the wallet and go to the website and then it says connect wallet. You sometimes even in MetaMask and some of these other wallets, you get that error message. So try to go through the little icon bottom right on the Vesper mobile wallet. Click that. That's a search engine. You type in billygoattails.io, and then from there you connect the wallet, and that should fix any issue that you have.
Thank you, Billy.
Yep. All right, guys. What else, Jimmy? You got any closing remarks?
No, I'm just trying to stay awake, man. We had.
How's your dad? Your dad with you?
Yeah, well, they're in bed, but yeah,
Okay.
they made it to town. We went to the band concert. After the band concert, I went and ate a 20-layer lasagna, and I'm feeling at least 19 of them right now. But it was so good. Pasha service. So good.
Well, we had Dave's dog sick, and we have Polio, who's got the flu. We had Jimmy out with his dad, and Tex-Mex is freshly out of the hospital himself. So he looks like he lost 15, 20 pounds just in 3 days, man.
He does look like he lost some weight.
He does.
He does.
He does look a lot better.
I think it's the new night cream that he's been using because his face is glowing.
Got some good night cream. I've been using it for years.
All right, guys. Dave, you got anything?
Yeah, man. If you're a trader, a day trader, a scalper, or anything like that, this is where you have to just take a shot. We're at the 786. You know, if it's going to bounce, we're just deviating below the value area. I mean, that's our spot. I mean, you got to take a shot, manage your risk right. Let's go.
What are you on, Bitcoin there?
Yeah, Bitcoin.
Yeah, okay.
And that's a 12 minutes, so it's definitely just I'm just talking from 104 back up to 107, which is crazy that that's that far. But that's a small range in the bigger, if you're looking at the bigger picture, that's the little bitty range up here. So
now's the time. Dave's saying it's a good trade setup. Dave Digital knows.
Yeah, man. I mean, we don't know if it's going to play out, but we know that that's highly probable. That's a 786 right there. It's also the deviation below the value area. The highest volume node in this little window in the local area is back up here at the POC. So take your profit there, take a profit there, and see if you can get back to the value area high.
Yeah, man.
You've got an easy invalidation. If it stays below the 786 and then it dumps, I mean, you're going to come back down to this POC here. It's a naked POC at 103 something. So that's what Frankie would say.
I got you, brother. All right, guys. We will catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Billy Goat Tales. Peace and out.
Have a good night, everybody.